he was talking about how places like this had so much to do, so much work to do to make them work as a community. And there were people who needed work, who needed jobs. So he said, why do we bring in multinationals to do that? We can do it ourselves. And he set up a community business. And all the profits were ploughed back into Easterhouse. And so when I was starting my series, I went to see him and he said, I've also got a band. And I went, a band? I thought, oh, it's just some wee pop band. And then I saw them and I was blown away. I thought they were extraordinary. And I went back to Channel 4 and luckily the head of music, a guy called Mike Bolland, who was a guy that commissioned the Tube. I don't know if anybody's old enough to remember the Tube. And with Polly Hicks and Jules Holland. And he said, 2 guys from Glasgow, how lucky can you get? He said, of course. I said, I think it's a proper film. It's not part of my big series. We did the community businesses and that. But I said, this deserves a film on its own. And he said, off you go. So we got the commission. And sad to say, a few weeks before we started filming, I thought it was all over because Denny, I'll talk about Denny a wee bit first because that's why we're all here, of course. He was as inspiring as Kieran Grant in a way because his great vision, and this has been mentioned earlier, he'd kind of grown up in the kind of period where young people were in gangs because they were so bored. And this is again in the film. Frankie Vaughan, a singer from London, came in to try and calm everything down. And his vision was that this band would unite people from all around Glasgow, all the different schemes. So, people weren't broken into little gangs and so forth. And then they were playing a few weeks before we started filming, and a fight broke out. And Denny, being Denny, wanted to calm it down. And he got involved, and he got hit, and he was seriously injured. And we thought, it's not, we can't do it without Denny. Channel 4 didn't lose their nerve. They said, do it. And, we gave it a bit longer, and he was very brave. You'll see he's wearing an eye patch in the film. He was very brave, but he was terrific, absolutely terrific. And I just thought his music was incredible. And I've never really understood why they didn't make it, big time, outside Glasgow. Kieran had a theory that when he went to the record companies in London, there's all very well having wild people, heavy metal and punks, but if you think about it, a lot of the punks were middle-class boys. Jam, The Clash, and The Stranglers, people like that. He thought that they were actually frightened of real people, real people from real working-class communities. I don't know that it was a theory, but it was a shame they never broke through, and I think this film, now remember, this film's nearly 40 years old. Now you might find it a wee bit slow at times, but it's not. It's before MTV and BBC Three with all the captions and the fast cutting, but it does capture them, I hope, at the height of their powers, I think, and I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. Thank you.